One of the things that I discovered when I was writing the 5-second rule is this research project that was done at Cornell University. Really cool thing, and even though I write about it, I want to explain it in a little bit greater detail because the findings of this research project have tremendous implications for you and me. Now, it's called the Legacy Project, and what they did is they went into nursing homes, these researchers at Cornell, and talked to thousands of men and women who were nearing the end of their lives. Why were they doing that? Pretty simple. They wanted to know, what could you and I learn about our own lives if we were to do extensive interviews with people that were near the end of theirs? Well, the researchers found something quite remarkable, and they were kind of surprised because when they asked people if you could go back and live your life all over, what's one thing that you would change? And everybody said almost exactly the same thing. They said that they would not have wasted so much of their precious lifetime worrying, doubting themselves. I don't think you realize how much you worry or how often you're in your head behind enemy lines saying nasty stuff to yourself. I certainly didn't realize it until I discovered the 5-second rule and I started to utilize it as a tool to break the habits that negatively impact your mindset and your attitude. So even though I dig into this with great detail in the book, I really want to talk to you about this because in my opinion, your mindset, your attitude, using the 5-second rule to teach yourself the critical skill of confidence and breaking the habit of self-doubt and the habit of worry, it is the single most powerful way that you can use this rule. Because if you start to change how you think, and if you start to change what you think about, everything in your life is going to change. Everything. Your experience of joy, your experience of happiness, your sense of control and freedom over your life. It is like magic. It's unbelievable how this works. So, first of all, you got to know something. Thinking patterns are habits. Just like biting your nails is a habit. It's a pattern of behavior that you repeat. You don't even really think about it. So are the thinking patterns of worry, the thinking patterns of self-doubt. And I keep spinning next to my head because what happens is these patterns, you get triggered to doubt yourself. So you start thinking about it. That whole loop gets encoded in your basal ganglia. Now, because it's a habit, you're not a worrier. You have a habit of worrying. You don't doubt yourself. You have a habit of doubting yourself. And those differences are really key because if it's a habit, you can break the pattern. You can break the pattern with what's called a starting ritual. Now, the 5-second rule is a starting ritual. When you count backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, what happens is you interrupt that loop, that pattern of worrying, that pattern of self-doubt. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom, interrupt it. And you've just woken up the prefrontal cortex, which is the part of the brain that helps you adopt new thinking patterns. So the way that you're going to use the 5-second rule to end the habit of self-doubt and end the habit of worry is really straightforward. The moment you catch yourself worrying, okay, the moment you just woke up. Seriously, if you're in your life and you notice that your thoughts have drifted to something that's negative, or your thoughts have drifted to something that you can't control, or you're worried about where your kids are, or you're worried about your parents, or you're worried about your paycheck, or you're worried about all these things. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Interrupt the habit. Awaken the prefrontal cortex, and then force yourself to think about something else. It's really that simple. And self-doubt, you do it the exact same way. Let's say you're standing in front of a mirror. You know, we're our own worst critics. You stand in front of a mirror and you start like talking about your love handles, or you're talking about your face, or you're, complaining about what your hair looks like, or the gray hairs, or whatever it may be. It's garbage. The second you catch yourself doing it is a moment of tremendous power because it means you've woken up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now force yourself to think about something else. Force yourself to compliment yourself. Or let's say you're looking at your bank account and immediately your thoughts drift to, I'm never going to be successful. I'm never going to get out of debt. Do you think that those thoughts are actually helping you solve your problems? Of course not. It's making it harder. But when you catch yourself doing it, again, a moment of tremendous power. You got a decision to make. Are you going to listen to that garbage, or are you going to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, interrupt that pattern, awaken the prefrontal cortex, and force yourself to think about something else? If you have the habit of worrying, and you have the habit of self-doubt, which we all do, I want you to know just a couple things. Number one, it's just a habit. Number two, it's not going to help you solve your problems. Number three, you use a different part of your brain when you're worrying and thinking about your problems and beating yourself up than when you are thinking about solutions and feeling grateful and complimenting yourself. And the second that you catch yourself doing it, you might catch yourself doing it multiple times a day, that's a moment of tremendous power. It's the moment that you have a decision to make. And every single time that you're in that moment, you just caught yourself worrying, I want you to make the right decision. I want you to bet on yourself. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and force yourself to think about a solution, about something you're grateful for, or about something that just makes you